Okay. All right, looks like we got it. Okay. All right, hello. Today is Monday, August 11th. It is 5:30 p.m. The Josephine County Rural Fire Protection District Board of Directors shall now call the meeting to order. We'll do roll call today. We have Director McGowan here, Director Omby here, Director Hauser is absent, and Director Whiting is excused, and Director Jones is here. So we do have a forum. If everybody would stand, the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Moving on to agenda item number 2, approval of the agenda. Do we have any issues with the agenda? Motion to approve as written. Do I have a second? Second. Yeah. All right. I have a first and a second to approve the agenda as written. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll please.
Director McGowan?
Yes.
Director Omby?
Yes.
And Director Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Not item 3, approval of the minutes. Anybody see anything, any issues with the minutes? Motion to approve the minutes as per. Awesome. All right. Second. All right, so I have a motion and a second on approving the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? Seeing none, take roll please.
Director McGowan?
Yes.
Director Omby?
Yes.
And Director Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
While we're on the minutes, something that I'd like to bring up real quick. When we took the minutes into the bank, they suggested that on our minutes we should do some sort of signature line when they're approved,
Okay.
so that we have something showing that we actually approved them. But she's like, anybody could just bring these in. I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah, I guess because there's no signatures on them. So moving forward, maybe if we do like, do we want just the administrative assistant signature on it for approval? Maybe that's a great idea.
Okay.
All right, so we'll do that moving forward. Okay, so that was item A under the approval of minutes. So moving on to line 4, financial report. Our treasurer, Director Whiting, is not here. However, while he was on vacation, we did get a bank account set up. The funds have been transferred from the county, Fund 73, into that bank account, and it was just the operating funds. When doing so, the amount that Director Whiting had presented to us showed the payment of the election, the surveyor, and the legal fees all taken out of it. However, those had all been retro back to the 24-25 budget. So when she cut me the check for the 25-26 operating budget, got the full amount minus the $175, or excuse me, full amount minus the $179 for the vehicle membership. So that has been deposited. So we have a total $324,821 we have bank account. LGIP went ahead and got the paperwork started for that. I will turn that over to Director Whiting, and once he moves forward with that, we should be able to transfer. Actually, we won't have to. There's another paperwork that I got from the treasurer. We just fill that out and they automatically send it from the county treasurer right into it for us once that account is all established. Is established, and they just, yeah, the treasurer, Dustin, he will just transfer it right in there for us. So all we do, he gave the paperwork to fill out, and then I'll have Director Whiting fill all that out. Once the account's set up, he can take it into him, and then it will be transferred. Okay. So 3 things that need to be paid out, actually 4. The other one is actually under new business, but OFDDA membership, I do have a bill for that, for $31.25. So maybe that's something today. I'll have you, Director Elby, sign that check for me. And then we'll wait on Ralph's reimbursement for the mailbox when he's here. And then we can wait on my reimbursement for the Zoom account. Yeah, reimbursement, yeah, that counts. So we do have some counter checks. The other thing with the financial, I'll get with Director Whiting on that is ordering some checks for us. The bank suggested we use Costco because it's more cost effective. All right. Anything else on financial reports from anybody? All right, seeing no more on that, we'll move into public comments. Members of the public have 3 minutes to speak to the board about district items that are not already on today's agenda. Once recognized, members shall state their name and address for the record and address the board. Board members would not respond to the comments during audience time except to ask clarifying questions. Any public requests for board action will be referred to staff for review before being placed on further agendas. So do we have anybody from the public that wishes to speak here today? Anybody on online? Oh, all right. Seeing none, we'll move on to old business. And Director Olby, I'll turn that one over to you.
For the phone.
The district telephone number.
It was typically delivered today. I wasn't home to sign for it, so they left me a slip to sign. So I'll have it tomorrow. But you can hand that to Cassie, that's your phone case. All right. So I'll get that tomorrow and arrange to track drop it off. The other question I have is, should we add her as able to make changes to things? Authorize that because she'll be holding the phone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's say we have.
When I call and activate the phone, I'll make sure.
Okay. And do you have that phone number?
I gotta look it up.
So we finally have a district telephone number, and we decided that Cassie would hold on to that phone.
The phone number for the fire district is 541 295 5140.
295-5140. Okay, awesome. And then any calls she can filter them out to whoever they need to go to that way. You good with that, correct?
Sir.
All right. Okay. Any other discussion on the phone? Okay, awesome. Thank you, sir, for setting that up. I'm taking care of that. All right, moving on to item 7, new business. Committee reports, 780. And we'll start off with you, Director McGowan, for staffing, fire chief.
So I'm gonna say guys on this like strong. STO goes so for quite some time, and I guess the outcome of that conversation was we as a board had suggestions. We as a board need to identify what our objectives are with what we want to accomplish. A year from now, 5 years from now, but whatever that looks like, whatever that step out looks like. He did start meeting on communication. It's an internal group. But he basically reiterated some of our conversation on the phone. district board looking for, previous experiences, all things related to a start, some of the fire district, to get some, ways to start with some of that. He brought some questions up that I don't know are best suited per se for this forum. I don't know if it'd be better suited as a sidebar, just of
Executive session.
potentially, and I don't know that, to be honest with you, but there's a lot of information shared, with questions to that. And I don't know that this forum is best to have a conversation. I will. Again, do just questions, and what's our thoughts, what are we looking to do, accomplish things, how do we plan to approach a task base, et cetera, et cetera. That would be executive session.
Yeah, we'll have to, do we have a outline of what falls under executive session?
I can get you that out. I know, there's a whole statute.
Yeah, I just don't remember what it says.
Yeah, there's quite a few, but I think there's 20.
29 that it will fall, okay. So yeah, if it falls in those items, then we can do executive session other than that. It would be, during the general meeting.
Like,
Yeah, I don't remember what they are. And I looked at them once, like a long time ago.
you did make some suggestions based on what our overall objectives are, like say a short, medium, long range. Just an option of one is to appoint manager. Option two is to hire a fire chief. Option three would be to hire interim fire chief. And each shares some of his personal thoughts on all of those options. And but basically, he said you need to set a course in the board. Whether, like I said, short, medium, long range. He asked us why we to a service contract or a contract for service, excuse me, for time like that we did. What would it look like to expand? I got a lot of questions and things that I didn't have real direct answers to, but I wrote down so we could have that discussion. So I could re-engage that conversation, guide us further. What option you fit our needs better or best for those issues to show up in courses. Well, outside of that, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is just the form, just had a general discussion if that's suited as. And,
Yeah. Do you feel like we should maybe actually put together like a 1, 3, and 5 year plan first?
so those things use this recommendation, and this is all offline, it wasn't just a conversation that is there be established, so I would suggest we start on the one. So from there, determine what your 3 year or 5 year or 10 year looks like. He said I would suggest you formulate a plan to, I'll use the word marketing plan for a better term, to go to the voters for great tax, but for a tax base, for the May, November 26th, actually cycle, excuse me. He said it would be he said he can see it being very difficult in his circle of, primary retired fire chiefs to say, we're standing on a new district. Can you come at us? What does that look like? So I'm sure we can help with what.
Yeah.
What do you see as your needs? What do you see as your goals? What do you see as your plans? Yes. Consider going to a contract with you. That's really not one here to do yourself. So you go formulate some of these conversations, take some direction. So, I'm not sure, but it's going to be a conversation. Then he has kind of plan to do a transition. What does it look like? What would the fire chief do? I have some personal thoughts, but that's not sharing my personal thought on fire. I did try to get a little more successful with that and share position. And it's the Gordon said he would be happy right now. Visit with the board and just a general form discussion. It's a treatments to be quite timely, but.
We could put him on agenda. Yeah,
And he also suggested that we reach out to some local folks, get their input, but again, he drove the conversation back to what is it? So for the seven people who have great skill sets to provide to stand up the district. But what is standing in the district look like? But you want to accomplish. So what's correct?
we could work him into our next, either our next general meeting or the one after that as an agenda item.
So, caveat, so that he is in San Francisco as my media concept, that's very, very powerful cancer. Obviously, we expect, so his availability in the next month or so.
Would he be able to join us on Zoom?
Yeah.
He could join in on Zoom and we could keep him as an agenda item on Zoom. Okay. If that works for him.
I did, I missed that sheet, that would have called it.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, awesome. So we could have a meeting with him in executive session? Okay, that'll work.
Oh, that's neat. I would. He was quite loaded with things, so his immediate work right now, so I would say the next meeting or maybe after the first or September, and let's push this out of the way, but I can. But then that SBA group, like, we follow the source of the he is the contact with that group. So if we have a little bit of flexibility to push to September, that would be better suited for him. He is currently going on.
Yeah, there's other items that we could be doing in the meantime, so.
Okay. I will ask him for September. Meeting comes.
Yeah, and it would be in September, we plan to do every other week in September, so the first meeting then would be the 9th, or excuse me, the 8th.
So second, fourth.
Yeah,
The additional second.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, just like, the week prior, that he's gonna be able to make it, we'll put it in that executive session. Okay, perfect. Do you have any other staffing?
It's not staff, it's facilities.
Okay, we'll throw that in on that. Okay, all right, so let's see. Sticking with 7A, moving on to communications, Director Weidling and myself. And we have not moved forward with anything until he and I are able to sit down and discuss some things. So that's been put on hold. Now that he is back, we can hopefully meet this week. And then, so we'll move into policies and procedures. So Director Ownby and myself, during some SDAO training, I discovered that there's another policy that we need to have. One that we probably should have had before we entered into a temporary contract with a administrative assistant. However, the new policy is recruitment and hiring policy. I always pictured that as being something that a fire chief would do. However, because we need to hire a fire chief, it states that we should have that in place prior to. So we're working on that one right now. We should be able to present that next meeting. And we'll go ahead and do a policy approval and resolution on the same day. So we can put it together. That is legal, right? To do the policy approval and then have a resolution following. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Make sure we stay legal here. All right. Anything else on policy, sir? Did you see anything in that we should
No,
still address it? All right, and then the consideration committee, also Director Weidling and myself, and again, since he's been on vacation, that was put on hold. Need for new committees. So You brought it up, you know, like year one, year three, are we going to do tax base? So I think we should establish a revenue committee to decide what that's gonna look like, establishing a tax base, because we are just barely over 1 year from when it needs to be turned into the clerk, if we want to get it on November 26th ballot. So,
You think, what about the strategic plan?
and include that in it,
With the revenue funding,
we could do that.
and that's cheap.
Does it need to be a committee, those do workshops? Within it,
We could do workshops, you know, at the
right, sort of,
all together,
it's not decision making time, it's just.
right?
Just so we can have discussion, like from the outside of our.
We could do workshops for that particular item, yeah.
Which are public.
Yeah, it would be public,
But it doesn't have to
Right.
be broadcast, right?
right?
I would say,
Well, it would need to be, it'd still need to be recorded.
yeah, I would say rather than create a committee, put two people to make that decision and brainstorm it, it'd be better to keep the board as a whole, because the job of the board is to be approached by the community, which is our district, and to be able to present what the community needs. And I think something that shouldn't be put on two people, it should be open to everybody, so anybody can be contacted and brought something to the table for ideas, leadership, but things we need to do there is run revenue. But we need to cover those short term, midterm, and long term.
Do we want to make that all, try to do those as separate workshops, do a strategic planning workshop and then a revenue, generating, or, I mean, they kind of go together.
Yeah,
So-
I think there might be a lot more lifted revenue, marketing, communication focused around revenue and communication.
I need a whole workshop just focusing on that. Okay, so we need a strategic planning. Workshop, and then, just call it a revenue stream. Workshop, or just revenue workshop. Okay.
yeah, I just think it's like down to people's shoulders to make a decision for
Right.
something all five should have.
So the objectives would be the population talking about
And-
Yeah.
Read the board, yeah.
I think once we have a workshop, we'll probably have direction, send two people out to start formulating plans.
Right.
But right now, I think that's such a big task that we have a brainstorm session before we put it on two people to come up with stuff.
Alright, well, while we're thinking about workshops, there was a couple of other things too, I did either for committee or workshop. Obviously, a grant, committee or a grant workshop. So maybe start getting that going, because once we have some things in play, we know which ones to go after, the timelines and all that stuff, so we want to create a committee to start looking into that to make sure that we're meeting those. We're able to get to those timelines. I know there's only a couple more items we actually need to do before the FDID number, however. Mike Shaw from OSFM gave me a number to call, talk to her about the possibility of getting that FDID number, utilizing the board instead of the fire chief, so we'll wait and see what the outcome is of that, but then we could start on grants. So do we want to create a committee to start looking into grants, or do we want to make that a workshop where we all sit down and brainstorm into it?
grants that used to have ordinance, there is a, for special districts. There is resource available, it says here are all the grants available for these types of services. So that might be a little smoother. Depending, deciding on which ones we think we can apply for, might be a fairly smooth discussion too, based on. But then I got to look back to us, what is objected on how to be implemented. Already we have this. It's cool.
There. Alright,
That's been like, share applications in the body of the context for the line is a big piece of what drives here.
Right.
So say, we want a $1.5 million seismic updating grant.
We don't have
And
one
it's
still
still a
a size.
seismic,
Right.
will be great too.
Well, my thought with that was to get somebody to start lining those up and getting the dates. Because everything has certain dates that you have to abide by. And right now, we don't know what those are, so having somebody to start gathering all that information.
So how do I was gonna thought I can bring that back.
Okay.
Say, here's the grants, here's the dates, and then if we're gonna move forward with, well, let's look at these four. And we move forward to any other group. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. And then, we are waiting our 30 days for the name change. With that, do we want to start thinking of branding in our logo? Because, again, to get the information out to the public and have that, we need to have some sort of branding of logo. So we want to start working on that. So that once the Thursday, so that's what, September 3rd? September 3rd, we will have the new name in play. So. Branding, like a branding committee or something. Brand. Yeah. Well, I've got a logo too, so.
And just confirming, we have to have committees, because we can't work outside of the meetings
Correct.
unless we're.
So if you have two in a committee, you guys can work outside and put that together. And then bring that to the board. So,
I just don't think we need a committee for coming up with logos and brands, because just ideas the board would
like
like.
I just,
I say present it to.
does everybody bring them together and we'll just.
Yeah,
do
I've seen some good ones out there, so
Okay.
I'm not too worried about making a committee.
Okay.
to do that, just,
All right. Make sure that,
sorry, I'm a committee killer.
no, that's fine, no, it's, trust me, I'd rather not have all these committees, I'm just trying to.
No, I think it'd
All the
be good
different things
to-
that need to be worked on, and I know we can't do it together, but two people can both
Yeah.
work on it, so I'm trying to figure out how to make those. Those groups to go work on things together, but if you wanna. Just set it up for the branding, we just all bring an idea into the next meeting or the meeting after, so today's the 11th, you wanna bring some ideas in on the next meeting,
The name changes official when.
September 3rd. Well, yeah,
If not, yeah,
if nobody, that's,
I would say put it on the agenda for the next 2 meetings, that we bring the ideas. Brandings, or. And we could look at it and advise it, or be correct. I've seen some good stuff already from somebody on it.
okay. Agenda, so we'll put the
If it's on the
logo,
agenda, at least we can look at it, talk about it.
okay, so we'll do the logo / branding for the new name. Okay. Right. Okay, so. We are not establishing any new committees. We're moving into workshops and bringing it to an agenda item. So we'll move on to item C under, so 7C. Notice for public hearing invoice. So that was in the packet. Did you bring those copies? No, okay, I didn't print that one out. It's email. Yeah, well, so you have them all in the email. So we need to pay those. So that's just an invoice from the courier on the second one for, was it 189, I believe? For the public hearing notifications. So no objections for, okay. Okay, so with no, just without objection.
Yeah, no objection.
Okay, awesome. So we'll get that with Director Whiting and have them pay those. So item 7B, which is review of fire district startup checklist, so that's other section in the packet. The first three were obviously done when they formed it. And then we've going through it, we've done quite a few of them. Obviously, designating a district headquarters, obtaining a .gov, but waiting on that name change. So those two items will be taken care of in the future. The budget committee, we took care of that with when the commissioners were in charge. The three of us were on that budget committee as well. So coming around for next year, we'll have to put that out to the public. We'll need 5 members from the public next year for that budget committee. So something just to keep them back in mind. And moving down, we developed and adopted key policies. So far, we have the public records request policy, the purchasing and contracting policy, the code of conduct and meeting procedures. That was in the very first policy that we created for the directors. That was the name of the person. Let's see. I have it here somewhere. Anyway, that policy was created. Then we established initial fire protection services. That one's been taken care of. Next one on this list is developing the response plans, the SOP, and things like those. But that's so I think that kind of goes into our strategic planning. So once we start with that, we'll cover those items in that section. And then community engagement, moving that into the communications committee. That's developing the website and then hosting open house and town hall meetings to get the public engaged. I think once we start moving forward with the revenue stream, that's going to be very important. And see, establish communication channels again. It's taken care of. So really, we're covering all these items. I think that really the important items that are left on here is just the establishing headquarters. So, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, just speaking to the facilities, specific for headquarters, the Dutch brothers, they are formulating an exit strategy from their facility in Merlin. I don't know if that's going to be timely enough for what we need. I think there's a lot of options and opportunity there. I still know that they're taking strategies from the meeting. And have a facility or space available the next 2 to 5 months. So it's going to be something to meet with their but they're getting some generalized approach to well, they're not very open to the possibility of the timeline. We're fitting for RVs right now.
So we should probably start looking for some sort of temporary arrangement. And then using this facility for the general meetings. I mean, it's even a small temporary office space somewhere where we can keep the IT equipment and some files and a place that we have a physical address. Like right now, we're utilizing Director Wyman's physical address for some accounts that just to get them open. So, yeah. Okay. So no, they need physical address. Yeah.
The phone, I haven't put my physical address down.
Oh,
just for shipping. I'll use the PO box for everything else. Since he brought up the conversation over there, I did check into the industrial park. It is not in the city limits and not planning on ever being, and it is not part of public safety. Okay, so we have the, if we did establish something, then we in the industrial park, we go back. So compensation did. I know you last fall, not even that. We're that's what's good. So, all right.
And seeing nothing else, we'll move on to item E, OFDDA Directors Training. That training is coming out in November, maybe some more information. Do have somebody on Zoom if she's willing to give us a little more information about that training coming up in November.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Mark. So, hello to your fellow directors. I'm Cheryl Johnson. I'm one of the directors for the Illinois Valley Fire District. I'm also the second vice president for OFDDA, the statewide organization for fire district directors. And in November, we will be having our annual conference, which is training. There are general sessions, concurrent sessions. There's vendor exhibits. There's all kinds of different things happening over Thursday, Friday, and half day Saturday. This coming November, it's going to be held in Seaside in Northern Oregon on the coast. And let me give you the dates exactly. It begins on Thursday, November 20th, and will conclude by noon on Saturday. Did I say September? November 20th, and then conclude Saturday, November 22nd by noon. And because you are a new and very small district, you will be eligible for the Bruce Williams Scholarship, which will be announced later this month, along with the full schedule of the entire conference. And the Bruce Williams Scholarship is specifically for the smallest 25% of the fire districts within the state of Oregon, which you very well qualify for. And it pays for all of your expenses. It pays for registration, pays for your mileage to get there, it pays for your hotel room. All of the meals are already included. There's breakfast every day, lunch every day, and then there's pretty much a light dinner / heavy hors d'oeuvres on Thursday night at an event night, and then Friday people are usually on their own for dinner. There will be a copy. We issue a quarterly newsletter called the Communique out of OFDDA. And for the conference specifically, the Communique is issued in print and is mailed one copy to every district in Oregon. And so you will be receiving a print copy in the mail to your mail address of record. And in addition, it also goes out to all the directors of record via email. And that will have a lot more information and all the specific details, including the agenda. And whatever questions you have, I'm happy to answer. Relative to the Bruce Williams Scholarship, I would love it if all 5 of you could attend, given that you're a brand new district. I can't say that you would be awarded all 5 scholarships for your district. It really depends on how many people apply for the scholarship and how much money we have in the account. So could be 1, could be 5, could be any number in between. We just don't know.
You said that pays for registration, hotel, and mileage?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. The Bruce Williams Scholarship covers all expenses because we know smaller districts just can't afford to send somebody. And roughly it works out to about $1,000 per director by the time you factor in mileage, registration, and multiple nights hotel room.
Right. Okay, awesome. You guys have any questions for me?
One question we talked about, or mentioned, is having all 5 of us in a training like that out of town. Is that?
Yeah, so I actually came across that in one of the SDO trainings. And it states that as long as we don't discuss our own district while we're together, we can all attend training together. Is that correct?
That is correct. And if you want to be ultra cautious, you can put out a public notice saying the 5 directors from the Mid-Rogue Fire District will be attending the OFDDA training as participants, and district business will not be discussed. And then everybody's noticed that you're all going to be gathered in the same place at the same time, but you're not gathering to conduct business.
Nice. All right. So just a public notice and put out in the paper, and okay, that's a good idea. That covers us. It's cheap enough. Yeah. Awesome.
If we all do.
Yeah, if we're all able to make it.
Right. Well, and if there's three or more of you that go, then, you know, obviously you've constituted a quorum and it could be an issue that somebody might want to raise a concern about.
Yeah, yeah, we want to make
We,
sure.
we typically do not for the Illinois Valley Fire District. And it also seems that lately there's never been three directors that can all go at the same time. So we're typically two directors and then some of our command staff. And so, and certainly your command staff is invited to participate as well. However, for the Bruce Williams Scholarship, that is for board of director members only. But there are a number of chiefs and assistant chiefs that do attend and find great value in the conference as well. I'm sure Chief Holmes will be happy to share with you his experiences in the past if anybody's interested.
I think is he presenting up there as well?
Yes, he is. He and I actually are going to present 2 sessions together.
Nice. Any other questions for us? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the time on the agenda.
Welcome. All right. Moving on to item F, the SDAO training. So that one here, there's one coming up. Well, actually, there's multiples. It's board of directors and management staff training. And coming up in September, there's one in Eugene, one in Astoria, and one in Salem. And so that's on that other form that I have there. It's 85 for attendees under the SDAO membership. So if that's something you're interested in doing. And these things with the training, and I guess it's really up to the board, but the district should pay for training if anybody goes to board training. So
Well, to that, I'm gonna attend the OFWDA training at the request of my fire chief.
oh,
Three sees it as mutually beneficial for both all this round as well as for the district.
okay.
I'm familiar, informed on the district, so I don't have to be considered in that. But choose to go there.
Okay, that'll work.
And if I could add one additional comment, well, 2 additional comments. One, SDAO usually makes one scholarship available for their trainings until they've exhausted the pool of scholarships. So you could always apply for a scholarship to attend any of the SDAO trainings, and they will let you know whether or not you qualified or there were no scholarships available. So that's usually a standard with any of the trainings that they offer. Additionally, at the OFDDA meeting, annual conference in November, we are going to have Board Duties and Responsibilities 101, Part 1 and Part 2. So it really is going to be the same workshop if you want to save the money on the SDAO training and pick it up at the ODFFA conference, OFDDA conference
Okay.
in November.
Okay, so these ones that they're offering here, these are all going to be covered. Okay.
Pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. If it's the board duties and responsibilities, it's the same curriculum for both SDAO and OFDDA. The difference with OFDDA compared to SDAO trainings is that ours are exclusively for fire district directors, where SDAO tries to be all things to all special districts. So you'll have ports, water districts, park and rec, library, all of them, where we exclusively focus on fire director related issues.
Okay, good enough. Yeah, it does say here it's the Board Leadership Fire District Directors Academy modules 1 and 2, plus it's the district management, board relations, public meetings, and public records, and then best practices. Those are the items listed.
Right.
Credit information. So.
Yep, that's the basic 101 stuff. I actually have an email that I've drafted to you, Mark, and what I will do is include the draft, and I put big quotes around that. It is the draft conference agenda. It's not finalized yet. It's about a hair close from being done. it'll give you a good idea of what kinds of different workshops are going to be offered up in Seaside.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
The scholarship that has to do with mine said they were all exhausted.
It said it, when I clicked on that, the information, it said all scholarships.
Have they deserved or not?
Very simple.
People jump on them pretty quickly.
Yes. Okay, so the next sheet in the packet is the SDAO OFDDA Fire District Directors Academy participant application. So you'll have that to fill out. And in that Fire District Academy has all the different modules. So she was stating 1 and 2 are covered up there, but this also has, you know, modules 3, 4, and 5. So if that's more training that you wish to do, it's available for you. So that was all I had for the training stuff. For us to move forward with. Any other questions or concerns with the training? No? All right, moving on, item 7G, Merlin Park Board decision, the use of the community center. So the park board had their meeting on Monday, and the board is requesting compensation for the use of the facilities. However, they are cutting us a special rate. It's half of what they charge nonprofits, and it's just to cover the use of electricity, because now that we're in the afternoons, running the AC all afternoon to get it cooled down for us before we get here puts a strain on the electric bill. And this is a like our district, they have no tax base. So this strictly runs on donations and the rentals of the community center. So they asked if we would start paying $25 for each time we use it. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they were wanted to be reasonable. They just want to help offset the cost of electricity. So
I'm glad to make a motion that we honor that request to pay $25 per use. For the community center.
all right, so I have a first and a second to authorize $25 per use of the Merlin Community Center in the Merlin Park. So any more discussion? All right, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Director McGowan,
Yes.
Director Owenby,
Yes.
and Director Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
All right. All right, moving on to 7 and into 8 correspondence. The only letter that I got was the bill, so I'll give that to Director Whiteley. Any other additional letters from the board? Open floor for reports, requests, or comments.
The only thing that I have, I brought up, we were going through our stuff, that I'd like to find out more information about is, I know 911 charges districts per their call volume and whatnot. How is that gonna work out now with the have with you guys? Should we actually be paying that bill for our district area, or do we need to open a discussion with 911 about that?
That'd be like paying a gas bill. I mean, it's the duty of doing business, so I think it would be continuing to be on us.
I just don't recall seeing any kind of,
There wasn't anything in the contract.
so I don't wanna
Yeah.
leave it unattended and then find out later we should have.
Yes, no, I think it's, you know, we're still the customer of the 911 center, you know, so the calls we're running on, whether it's for this district or for the city or anybody else, yeah, we're covering that.
It just, yeah, bring it to the table if that's something that we concerned about in the future, it is the responsibility of our district. So, but I don't remember seeing that.
It's good for, you know, thought and
Yeah,
vision type stuff, but yeah.
Definitely
That was one question I had with the reversion and stuff, talk about finding out. So,
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have it in our strategic planning. That'll probably need to be put in there for sure. Anything else from you, sir? The only thing I had to add was, so Amazon Prime is free through SDAO, and it, so without objection, I would like to be able to open an Amazon Prime account and place the order for all our IT equipment. It does, show that it has the $5,000 invoice, what they call it, yeah, so basically you order it, they bill you, they send you the bill, you pay it then, so. If the board without objection is okay with me creating that account, I'll open it up, order our IT equipment, so that the next meeting will have everything to stream better and people can hear us. Hopefully next week, yeah. Well, most of the stuff showed that it was 2-day delivery, so. So I should be able to have it, but. Or do I need that?
No relation.
No objections, okay, all right, so without objection, I will open an Amazon Prime account and order our goodies. Then you'll have a new computer. All right. Yeah. Okay, all right, well, that's all I had, and I would
Motion to adjourn. Second.
so. I don't really mean that, we did a motion, though.
I mean, that's already been able to do it.
Okay. So, any further discussion? All right, so roll Wendy, Either,
Roll call.
yeah,
McDowell?
since we did a motion.
Director McDowell?
Since we did a motion, we need a roll call.
Oh, yes.
Director Flutie?
Yes.
And Director Jones?
Yes,
Motion carries 3-0.
all right, thank you. All right, thank you all for coming. We'll adjourn this meeting now at 6:23 PM. Thank you.
Stuff.